Test, test. All right, do you hear me now? Give me a thumbs up if you hear me. That's pretty effed up. I didn't even have the mic on. There we go. All right, bet. So you know what? I'm gonna just clip that out and I'm gonna just start over. So, so, hey, how you doing, everybody? Welcome to the CashSports podcast. Back at it again on a Friday. I had a little mic troubles. I made a bonehead decision to not turn the mic on and make sure and verify that I did a mic test before I even started the podcast. But that's not even important. Let's get straight into it. NBA bets and spreading odds. I'm putting that out on Friday. I know Thursday night football just occurred yesterday on Thursday, so I did miss that game. But I'm still going to give you the rest. But before we get into that, really quickly, please like and subscribe to Cash Sports Podcast, because any like and subscribe to the platform will definitely help the channel out. Hit that notification button. Also, if you guys want to see me live stream, so you guys know when I hit that live stream, right? And I know you guys see that Cash App at the bottom of the screen going from right to left. Any proceeds that I receive towards the platform will be definitely going back to the Cash Sports Podcast, because anything that I receive, I only want it to grow more and more, right? So I'm not going to cut I'm just going to cut to the chase. I don't want to hold on any longer than what I did. I already had a big slip up in the beginning with the mic issue. So let's get into it. So I'm going to reread this paragraph because you guys, since, nobody really heard me on the other one. NFL defenses continue to have the upper hand over offenses after a couple of seasons of the offenses scoring points left and right. Unders are now 51, 37, and 3 against the closing number. If you bet under on every NFL game this year, you'd win nearly 60% of your bets, and even more so if you bet earlier in the week, because most totals have been shading downwards towards during the week before kickoff, right? So if you guys don't understand that, basically, defenses have been pretty good this year. If you had to break it down for every statistical category, there's a plethora of things on why, this is occurring. Matchups occur, specifically, hey, some teams could have some players out. I know there are definitely some defenses that have been taking L's due to some injuries. But given what we've seen so far, if you bet under, if you have the mentality to bet under, you have a 60% chance of winning. But a good and a great person that has an eye for these sort of things would know which game to bet under. So I'm just going to leave it at that, right? But before I get into the other picks and we talk about the matchups for week 7, remember, I am not responsible for your wins and your losses, right? So I'm going to just get that out the way before you guys make your foolish bets, all right? I'm joking, by the way, right? So let's go down to the first game. All right, we already know what happened to the New Orleans Saints and the Arizona Cardinals. Arizona Cardinals won 42-34, I believe, and DeAndre Hopkins finally came back from a 6-game suspension, having 10 receptions for 103 yards. So that was great to see. So the first game that we're going to be talking about here is the Falcons versus the Bengals. Bengals have the advantage with the -6 on the spread and a total of 45.5 and a money line of -275, right? So with this one, I know the Falcons have been playing really good football as of recently, and their offense is playing better than what we've expected. But so have the Bengals. The Bengals have improved off those first couple games. We know there was some question with the Cincinnati Bengals offensive line, but Joe Herbert has been playing better and formidably lately, only throwing 2 interceptions compared to the 4 interceptions that he had in that week 1 game against the Pittsburgh Steelers. So I see this as another game that the Cincinnati Bengals knock off their list, and they're going to go on to win another one. So now another game now is the Detroit Lions in Dallas going against the Cowboys. Cowboys are favored to win this game with a spread of -7 and a total of 47.5 and a money line of -300. So for those that might not know, Dak Prescott is scheduled to come back in this game after missing 4 straight weeks and due to a thumb or hand injury in that first week. So We know the Detroit Lions, they have one of the best offenses in the league, but that hasn't been the case when they went up against the Patriots and they lost, I believe, the last 2 games, if I'm not mistaken. But with Dallas Cowboys, they have they have an exceptional defense. Micah Parsons is tied first with QB pressures and is also up there with sacks. So not to mention, Cowboys have a really good defense, and then with Dak Prescott coming in, you're going to start to see a different Cowboys team. And I firmly believe that. And I think Dak Prescott is going to come this week. He's going to make a statement against the defense in the Detroit Lions, who are very questionable, I may ask, or I may say. So I definitely got the Dallas Cowboys winning this game. Right? You guys staying with me? You guys staying with me now? I bet. Let's get back into it. So now the next game is the Indianapolis Colts at Tennessee going against the Titans. So the Titans are favored to win this game with a -2 on the spread and a total of 42.5 and a money line of -145, right? So last week, I believe the Titans did come out with a win, but I do want to double check that because I know it is pretty later in the week and a new season is about to start up. So I do want to be right about that. The Titans. Did they even play last week? Oh, they didn't play last week. So that's why my memory is a little bit shoddy. So no, the Titans did not play last week. They did have a bye, so they are coming off a bye. But the Colts did come off a win going against the Jacksonville Jaguars, a team that they've struggled with in Jacksonville, but they finally got that redemption win. Noting the fact that they lost their playoffs hope against the Jacksonville Jaguars last year in the last game, I may say. Jonathan Taylor, to my knowledge, is still out. But with the Colts, Matt Ryan is finally starting to find his stride. Last week, he had a really good week, had 389 yards passing with 3 touchdowns and no interceptions, which is very good because prior to that week, I believe he was tied leading the league in interceptions. So this one is a tough matchup, I may say. It is a divisional matchup that I do have to bring up. But you know what? I'm going to be sneaky with this one. I am going to be truly sneaky with this one. And I'm going to pick the Colts to win this week. All right. So the next game now is the Green Bay Packers versus the Washington Commanders. Packers are favored to win this game with a -5.5 on the spread and a total of 41.5 and a money line of -225. So the Packers need this one for sure. They had 2 straight losses against the New York Giants and the New York Jets, 2 teams that are relatively good defensively. But for the Commanders, in this case, I think the Packers are definitely going to need this win. I mean, they're struggling to find something. I know it's still really early in the season, but given the fact of what we've seen from the Packers, wide receivers are dropping balls. This defense isn't looking as good as we thought it might be. And, Aaron Rodgers isn't looking like that prior MVP that we've seen in the previous seasons. So with this one, I'm going to keep it short. I think Packers really are yearning for a win, and they can't afford it, especially if you're competing in the division with the Minnesota Vikings, who are looking really good right now. I'm going to have to go with the Packers on this one. So now we got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in Carolina going against the Panthers. Tampa Bay Buccaneers are favored to win this game with a -10 on the spread and a total of 41 and a money line of -500, right? So I don't think there's really much to talk about here. I mean, the Panthers, they're a team that's clearly in rebuild mode. Baker Mayfield is out with an injury. Panthers just fired their head coach, Matt Rule. And then so the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they're 3-3. They had a surprising loss last week. And so now with this week coming up, they're looking to redeem themselves also, right? So I'm gonna go with the Tampa Bay. I'm gonna go with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in this one. Panthers are gonna get slaughtered, even though I think they do have a decent enough defense, but I don't think it will count for the ambition that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are gonna have this season. All right, let me see. Just in case nobody's checking in the I just want to check my comments every now and then, just to make sure if I'm replying to anybody that comments. So now the next game is the New York Giants versus the Jacksonville Jaguars in Jacksonville. In this game, the Jacksonville Jaguars are favored to win this game with a -2.5 on the spread and a total of 42.5 and a money line of -150, right? So I completely understand why the Jacksonville Jaguars are favored to win this game. I mean, they need this game. They do. They desperately need this game. If I'm not mistaken, the Jacksonville Jaguars are 2-4, and they've lost their last 3 games. Right. So right now, I can see the Jacksonville Jaguars beating my New York Giants, but I don't give a damn. They're the Jacksonville Jaguars. I don't care what this team is like. I don't care what they need. Trevor Lawrence, you gonna get work, boy. I'm telling you that now. That second half Giants team is a Super Bowl team in the making, right? I'm not being delusional. Look it up. You know, New York Giants, when it comes to that second half, we're dangerous. We put up numbers in that second half, right? We outscore our opponents in the second half. Our defense gets better in the second half. So all we got to do, as long as that game stays close, hey, that's all that matters, right? We can still win the game. So I'm going to go with my New York Giants to win this week, man. I'm not going to go against them unless I truly feel like the other team is better than us. So I'm going to go with my New York Giants to win this one, right? So let me see. Any more comments? Nope. All right, back to the matchups. So next game is the Cleveland Browns versus the Baltimore Ravens. Baltimore Ravens are favored to win this game with a negative 6.5 on the spread and a total of 46.5 in the total and a money line of minus 275. So same thing with the Ravens, right? Ravens have had a bad couple weeks also, and I just want to bring up what happened recently. So I know that they're 3-3, tied up, but they're 2-2 over the past couple weeks. Last week they lost to my Giants, right? Got to give that pat on the back because out here I did call it. I called it just for you guys, just so you guys don't know. I called the Giants beating the Ravens last week. Yes, I called that. But this week I'm calling for the Ravens to pull out with the win. They need it. Even though the Browns are just as desperate in their regard, because I mean, hey, they have to pull through. They have to hold on until Deshaun Watson can come back around week 12 when they go against the Houston Texans. But Lamar Jackson, despite him playing very well in the beginning of the season, that hasn't been the same story as the season starts to progress into the football season. So we know that the Ravens defense is very questionable, but I'm gonna have to pick the Ravens on this one. They really, really, really need it, and they can't afford it, especially to a team within their division, which is the Cleveland Browns. Right? And I did say that the Cincinnati Bengals are winning this week, so if they win, somebody has to pull through, and it has to be either the Browns or the Ravens. Right? So next matchup is the New York Jets versus the Denver Broncos. Broncos are favored to win this game, -3 on the spread, and a total of 42.5, and a money line of minus 165, right? I'm going to disagree with this one. I don't believe the Denver Broncos. That offense is putrid. That offense freaking sucks, right? It's a sorry-ass offense. Russell Wilson can't do shit. They suck. I hate watching this team. But one thing's for sure, I do like watching this New York Jets team because they are looking good. Right, Sauce Gardner and DJ Reed are looking like one of the best secondary combos in the league right now. That defense is looking very physical. Quentin Richardson, I hope I got his name right. That might not be his name, but Quentin Richardson was player of the week when it came to defense last week. He was putting that pressure on A-Rod last week, right? So I'm gonna have to pick the New York Jets. You know, even though that Broncos defense is really good, right? Yeah, you know. Despite what how the Denver Broncos offense is looking, that Denver Broncos defense is just as phenomenal. Opposite, I may say. That defense looks good. I'll say that. So I do question the New York Jets offense with Zach Wilson. I still feel like there's something to be seen when it comes to Zach Wilson. He is in his sophomore year, so there's still some convincing on his part to us. But I'm gonna pick the New York Jets, man. I just don't see this Denver Broncos defense or Denver Broncos really pulling through with this dub. But they can, though. They can. If they were to win, this is the week that they would definitely have to win. All right. So next matchup is the Houston Texans going against the Las Vegas Raiders in Vegas. The Raiders are favored to win this game with a -7 on the spread and a total of 44 and a money line of -300, right? So the Raiders, I believe Devontae Adams is out for at least the next couple games, but same goes for the Raiders. I know the Texans can be one of those sneaky teams that can come up and probably sneak a W in this one, but I see, the Las Vegas Raiders being good enough and showing the roster, showing the talent on their roster and showing that they have some good guys on there. I see them pulling through with the win. So next game is the Seattle Seahawks versus the Los Angeles Chargers. Chargers are favored to win this game on the spread with a -6.5 and a total of 51.5 and a money line of -275, right? So with the Chargers, even though despite the Seattle Seahawks offense has been looking really good, Geno Smith has been looking really good. I believe he's fourth in QBR behind Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, even Tua Tagovailoa. But with the Chargers, they have some injuries. It wouldn't surprise me if the Seahawks do come out with this win, but we're talking about betting. Honestly, I'm gonna have to go with the Chargers on this one. I still believe that they're the better team, and Justin Herbert, he faced a better defense last week against the Denver Broncos. This week, not so much. I see the Chargers pulling through. So next game now is the Kansas City Chiefs versus the San Francisco 49ers, right? Chiefs are favored to win this game with a -3 on the spread and a total of 46.5 and a money line of -160, right? So this game is at home. I could definitely see the Chiefs doing a lot of great things here. This would be a tough matchup for either team. I don't, I could see why somebody would say the 49ers to win this game. And this is a tough one. It's truly a tough one. I mean, if we're going between the matchups, between the quarterbacks of Patrick Mahomes and Jimmy Garoppolo, clearly there's no competition between that. But if you're talking about the roster, we know that the San Francisco 49ers do have some injuries on their defense, but they did trade for Christian McCaffrey. So that offense is going to be looking a whole lot differently and a whole lot more dangerous, with the combination of Christian McCaffrey and Deebo Samuel. Woo, they're going to do some dangerous things on offense, and I can't wait to see what Kyle Shanahan does this week. So I'm going to pick the upset on this one. I'm going to pick the 49ers to win this game simply because I see things. I just see things taking a turn. Simple as that. Now, another game is the Pittsburgh Steelers versus going against the Miami Dolphins. Dolphins are favored to win this game with a -7 on the spread and a total of 44.5 and a money line of -275. Right? Got the Dolphins to win this game. Tua Tagovailoa is finally back in the lineup after a scary injury and a concussion protocol. Tyreek Hill, I believe, is leading the league in receiving yards right now. And I don't see it slowing down as long as Tua Tagovailoa can't get the ball to this cat, right? When Tua Tagovailoa is on that starting for that offense for the Miami Dolphins, there's just something to behold there, man. They're a show. I'll say that. They're definitely a show. They're a team that we got to look out for a fact, right? But the Pittsburgh Steelers are just one of those teams that you cannot overlook. So if I would pick the spread, even though I would have the Dolphins win this game, I would still pick the Steelers in the spread, right? If you were to pick the Steelers. Now the final game on Monday Night Football is the Chicago Bears going against the New England Patriots. I'm not going to hold you. This is going to be a sorry-ass game, with the Chicago Bears. It's going to be sorry for this team. Justin Fields, this is going through it this year, right? And then with the Patriots, I believe Bailey Zappi, who's been looking phenomenal as a starting quarterback for the New England Patriots, and that defense is still looking relatively decent. And also, New England Patriots do have one of the best offensive lines in the league, so that's something we do have to bring them also, right? But with them being -7.5 in the spread and a total of 39.5 and money line of -350, I'm definitely picking the New England Patriots. Nothing really much more to talk about there. So that is it for the betting odds and the spreads for this week. I'm glad I was able to get that to you guys. I know I've been slipping with giving out bets and spreading odds when it comes to football. But remember, I can only do so much with the time I'm given. But whenever I can squeeze in some time to doing the stream, I'm certainly gonna do it, right? So once again, like and subscribe to CashSports Podcast. I would graciously appreciate it because any subscribe helps my platform. So then I would have more time to do this, right? And also, I know you guys see that Cash App at the bottom. If you guys would so humbly donate any proceeds that I receive on Cash App or any donations in general would definitely be going back into the podcast. And also, right, hit that bell, hit that notification button, just so whenever I hit that live stream, you guys can zap in and also chime in on the debates, because I don't just put out betting odds. I debate on here too, and I definitely like to hear your guys' point of views and perspectives on every week of whatever sport event that we do here, that we do talk about, right? So once again, thank you for joining Cash Sports. I graciously appreciate it, and have a good time, right?